folks, before we go on, I just want to check on some sports stats, keep myself sharp here on the sports, and I'll use my computer and just go in here, and I'm going to check, okay.
What's up, Dippers? This one's for Dippy. My name's Dave. I'll be hosting today. Just want to wish everyone out there a happy Chanukah. Chanukah. Okay.
Shouts to Smokey Robinson.
Oh, sneaky shouts to Smokey. Dylan's here. Hi, Dylan.
Hey, speaking of Chanukah and Micah, who we're about to introduce, how'd you feel about the rating I gave you on your menorah?
Oh, I didn't see what your rating was. The tweet went so viral that I had to turn my phone off.
Yeah, I saw it had like 13 likes or something.
Oh, maybe.
So micro.
So I learned what a shumash was. Am I saying that correctly? Shumash?
I think so, yeah.
Because of our good friend.
Yeah, J-Bone.
No, Dan.
Oh.
Not Regester, but a guy used to write for us, Bluto, that guy.
Of course.
I believe he is also of the Jewish faith. And he filled me in on what a shumash is, so I could comment with a little knowledge on your menorah.
It was strong.
My rating. Yeah.
Was that your first menorah to rate?
No.
Well, there was a tree in the background too.
I did one the other night.
Did you see the tree?
I didn't notice the tree. I was so fixated on your beautiful.
I'll be honest.
menorah.
I had been drinking on Saturday, and for some reason, Will DeFreeze and I were having a beer, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take a picture of my tree with the menorah in front of it and send it to Dorn. It's going to be hilarious. And I've thought about deleting the tweet. It was just kind of weird.
Can I ask you a question about it? Is it traditional in the Jewish faith to put said menorah on a paper towel?
No, but my fiance is unfamiliar with. She is uncomfortable with the amount of candle wax.
I read that wax paper is a popular, more aesthetically pleasing choice.
Probably than a paper towel. I would agree. Thank you for asking, though. And if you guys want to see this tweet and this menorah in question, you can follow me at Micah Weiner, MICAHWIENER. I'll hit it with a retweet right now because I might have used the @producer Micah account. We'll not get into that.
I gave him a rating from @DShivery.
Oh, wow. Both these fucking guys.
I'll look for the verified check mark there.
Please do.
Certified.
That's how you know it's me.
Speaking of paper towels, KJ, we had some good paper towel talk before this podcast.
We did. I actually left to go acquire some on account of the fact that we just won't stand for subpar towel.
The ongoing global pandemic has really hurt the grocery store selection of paper towels. So KJ and I have both found ourselves in this predicament. We have tier 3 paper towels. That's all we could find. Mm-hmm. And if you want to go rip, you want to go clean something up, you go to rip it off, and it rips like a third of it off or 2/3 of it off. It doesn't rip cleanly, and it's just a trash product. It doesn't absorb. You have to use like half the roll. People are just buying these up, and you can't find good paper towels anywhere. But it looks like Micah found some.
It's annoying.
If it's like holding up candle wax.
Oh yeah, shouts to the good people over at Costco.
Yes.
Non-spawn.
Not yet.
Not yet, he says.
Oh, dear Lord, please drop the bag. I will be wearing Kirkland head to toe if they let me.
Those Kirkland sneakers go real hard.
Do you play Kirkland golf balls?
I have some of them, yes. I wouldn't say that I play them.
Okay, that's nice.
What did I say? I forgot.
He said Smoosh game weak 7.1.
I thought it's Sumosh.
Sumosh, yes. You totally missed the tree in the background though.
I didn't even notice.
I thought it was all about the menorah, dog.
Well, it's the tweet says rate my tree. I don't. It's not a good tweet. I was on one. I was lit like that menorah.
I thought you were just being sarcastic a little bit.
No. I had fun. It was fun. I'm glad we got to talk about that.
So here's my version of a tree as a.
Well, I'll have to send
a
picture of the family tree.
What we're trying to say is Happy Hanukkah to all of our Jewish
Happy
listeners.
Chanukah. I have no idea what Chanukah is, but
there's no way he's never seen that word.
There's the different spelling.
He's seen it. He just hasn't processed on what it actually.
Nobody knows what y'all are talking about unless they're following Micah Weiner on Twitter.
Smokey Robinson
10
issued
a.m.
a cameo, and he has been tasked with wishing a nice young lady a happy Hanukkah. But he read the prompt, and
to be fair, it is spelled different ways.
I just connected the dots that's what he was actually trying to say. Once he said Vancouver, that's why I said it might be some indigenous people thing. like spelled out Chinooka. Like
We are off the rails here.
You didn't. Okay.
I wasn't thinking Hanukkah.
That's not the-
because
yeah,
it was
yeah,
so
yeah.
far apart.
It's not the AP approved spelling. The AP approved spelling does not have a C at the beginning.
Okay. And no one
Jake
expected
Tapper
us-
was tweeting about this.
No one expected us to start the sports podcast talking about menorahs and Chinooka and all that.
With AP, the C usually comes at the end. So, hey, do us a favor. Follow us on Twitter, Too Much Dip with 2 P's. And on Instagram, Too Much Dip Podcast. That's, again, Too Much Dip Podcast on Instagram. Every Thursday, we do a live stream. It's very fun.
Oh yeah, we do.
I mean, last Thursday's was electric. Probably our highest rated. I muted Micah, which I apologize for.
It was a slab of an episode for sure. Somebody's cup was definitely slow, loud, and banging the entire time.
Guilty as charged.
Notice how I'm going no ice today. Sans ice and the Diet Cola.
Yeah, that corner over there is worrying the hell out of me. I'm hoping both of those are Dylan's. 'Cause
They
he's
are. He's more
Do
responsible.
you have dual Yeti?
One's water, one's coffee. Let's go.
My God. Unbelievable. Big show today. Before we hop into the NFL, I saw Micah did something that I like to do, and that's cryotherapy. And I just want to get your knee-jerk reaction to your first trip
Sure.
into the chamber.
Well, let me tell you about it.
No free ads, by the way.
Okay. I went with my business partner, Bradley Key of MWBK Creative and Sales. Close to an advertisement, but I won't say.
You could plug MW.
Thank you, MWBK. And we went because we've been talking to some folks who own a franchise of wellness clinics, I guess, that include Cryo and the other
Drip
assorted
therapy.
things. Drip therapy. They
Something
gave
you
us a
need.
little tour. There was drip therapy. There was hydrobaric chambers. There was the red light therapy. There's a sauna. They got the whole thing. It's a very nice situation over there. And they let us get in the cryo, and they were like, this is our old cryo machine, but you guys get to use the new one and go in together. So that's why we got that photo off.
Cryo?
It was a 2-man cryo situation.
I did not know you could do 2 men and 1
You
cryo.
stuffed 2 men in one cryo?
We did.
Y'all froze together.
The whole squad freezing up.
It's like a Bill and Ted Encino Man crossover here. Just
Got
real
her.
topical movies there.
I like the unfrozen caveman lawyer. Shout out Phil Hartman.
Even further
Yeah,
back.
rest in peace.
Unfrozen caveman podcaster.
And
That's so stupid.
So we got in, and they said, okay, so it's your
I'm a
first time. You get
caveman.
2.5 minutes. And they said, what music do you want to play? What song do you want? And we're like, I don't know, just surprise us. And then she just played the most terrible song I've ever heard in my entire life.
Meet me in the middle?
Inya?
No.
No, it was like really bad pulsing house music that just gave me anxiety. And but anyway, 2.5 minutes later, my temperature had gone down 30 degrees. She hit me with the little temperature gun
Okay.
on the back of the calf.
What'd you read? What was your number?
I believe it was 59 degrees.
I got down
something
to
along those lines.
54
Wow.
the day y'all went.
And it was lit. I made sure to wear 2 pairs of socks. I didn't want to go Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And no frostbite here, fam. But yeah, shouts to the cryo gang.
Did you feel good afterward?
I did.
Yeah.
Did. I did feel some of the areas that I'd been feeling. I've got like some little plantar fasciitis in one of my feet.
Okay.
And I
We
could
need to know
feel
that.
some tingling and some things happening there that I hadn't felt. And I think it was positive. So shouts to the cryo fam.
We got to get the squad in the cryo chamber.
I
See
mean,
if we
the
can get
fact that
4
you
men,
can put
one
2
cryo.
people, yeah, you might be able to. I think you could fit 4 people
Kinda
in that
weirds me
cryo
out.
chamber.
The idea of it, but sure it's tight. Hey, I didn't finish last place in fantasy football. I should probably get that out there.
That is big news.
Wow.
Sorry to the haters. Bad day for you guys, and for you guys who wanted to see content out of it.
You can still do the challenge.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Everybody here was willing to participate in a supportive role.
I think it would have been more of like a just come by and say hi and have a waffle with me situation, and
yes.
not like actually do the challenge with me. You know?
The Dillathon.
Yeah.
Do it for Dilly.
So sorry to disappoint, but my buddy Brad,
Waffles for Dorn.
who lives in Denver, will be doing the challenge.
Fucking Brad.
Yeah.
Will he live stream it?
Very doubtful. I don't think he's much into the whole social media situation.
So how are y'all gonna know?
Oh, he'll find a way to prove it to us.
Do like a
He's not
closed
gonna put it
circuit
on the
type deal?
internet. Yeah,
Okay.
Private link.
he's
Private link.
trustworthy. Wait, he's a good dude.
Good. You know the waffles at Elevation just hit different,
That's what I hear.
so I'm kind of worried about this.
Yo,
dude.
Waffle House waffles are big. They're no joke.
Yeah.
Flimsy, though, but they're good.
How did you guys come up with this punishment?
It's a well-known thing, the Waffle House Challenge.
Yes. But don't you guys have a different challenge each year?
Yeah, we nominate a few at the beginning of the season, and we all vote.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. And you lost before, correct?
Yes, I had to wear a dress in line at Franklin's Barbecue for 6 hours, and then purchase barbecue for the whole group for our draft.
Wow. Oh, for the next year. That's nice. That's a good one. Wasn't there one with a car washing situation?
Yeah, the guy Brad, who just lost again, he had to wash. Actually, had to mow everybody's lawn in our league, which is challenging because most of us live in. Well, a lot of us live in here, but some of us are in Houston. There was a guy living in Dallas at the time. That stunk. He had to do it all in one.
That one just would piss me off.
He had to do it all in
I
one
would quit
weekend.
the league,
but
honestly.
we were a little bit lax in the rules and let him get away with spreading it out.
Didn't you lose or get last place one year and didn't you end up having like truck nuts on your car?
No, he just did that voluntarily.
Yeah, what was that about?
I did catch some truck nuts on the back of my 2009 Ford Focus once, but
You know who the first person to put him on there?
I still don't know.
It was me.
It was you?
What? 100% me. I remember you walked in my office and said, "You know who did this?" And I was like, "Mike, I have no idea."
You probably had it down to me or J-Bone.
I thought it was Dave just because he was acting weird, but I could also tell that it wasn't Dave because he was acting weird, if that makes sense. Like, if
J-Bone's
you
the
would've-
obvious.
I thought it was the Bone Man. I would have never picked Dylan. Wow, this is a true revelation.
You got dorned.
It's all right. I cut him off, and then they returned shortly after. So
That might have.
I don't know why people are just sending multiple truck nuts to Total Frat Move headquarters.
That's the real story here. Yeah.
They were nice too. They were rubber.
They were nice. They were
It looked like they
quality
would have
nuts.
lasted a long time.
Good nuts.
Good nuts.
Those were some good nuts.
Speaking of nuts, how about that NFL day yesterday?
Turn it up.
Weird way to refer to it. It wasn't really that nuts, actually.
Yes, it was a fun day. It was
I love a good noon Cowboy game. I like not having to wait, especially when I know the product's going to be subpar.
not many close games the morning slate
That was ugly.
at all, actually.
Andy
think
Dalton
the,
revenge game.
The KC Miami game got a little interesting there near the end, but it never felt like it was
Never in doubt.
close. Yeah, never felt so close that you had to not many close ones.
It was interesting to see Kansas City get challenged this late in the season, especially by Tua early in his career. I mean, I want to say Brian Flores is going to check out as probably one of the strongest hires over the last 3 to 4 years in the NFL. Short of your McVays and Cliff Kingsbury might be approaching that threshold too.
Mike McCarthy's.
Mike McCarthy's. But to see Miami battle it out with Kansas City shows that they are approaching, they're probably 2 years out from being legitimate. AFC is so deep that nothing's going to happen. But I didn't realize Kansas City's won their division. This is now 5 years straight.
Yeah, Andy Reid knows what he's doing.
Who would have thought?
He's competent. He's a competent large guy.
He certainly is. The only pushback I would say is that the Chiefs turned the ball over, I think, 4 times,
Which is strange.
which is not something
yeah.
they do, and they still kept Miami at little brother arm's length the whole time. The Chiefs are head and shoulders above
The game
everybody, I think.
Did give us another interception by Xavier Howard, which I was unaware until you guys mentioned that there was another interception yesterday. It was pretty incredible. But the image of Xavier Howard's pick, I think, is worth looking at.
Former Baylor great.
That's the only reason I brought it up. Didn't realize Xavier Howard is a Baylor Bear.
Yeah, he was under the radar. I mean, everybody knew he was good and he was going to go, but I feel like he doesn't get talked about much. He's been kind of in obscurity in Miami for all those years.
So this was his 5th straight game with an interception. He's got 9 picks on the year.
Does he have more than the Cowboys' entire secondary? I feel like it might be
They're at
close.
6 or 7. They're
He
probably
has
like
9 on
9
the
on the
season?
year. Yes. I think the
Holy
record's like 11 or
shit.
12, but
How long has he
I'm
been in
just
the league?
guessing.
I don't even heard his name.
Dude, 4 years
3,
at the
4, yeah.
most.
That's really impressive.
And then the other guy's name from the Colts basically made the same interception, just kind of palmed the ball all with one hand. So it's just incredible to see these one-handed
That
interceptions go
one
down.
particularly was extra nasty in my opinion because he never brought it in with the other hand.
Yeah.
He kept it. It was one hand the entire way and just stuck it to his chest. It was tight.
I'd say the balance would be he's doing that over 6'6", 250-pound Darren Waller,
Best tight end in the league,
as opposed
arguably.
to
the difference in height between Darren Waller and
Tyreek
Tyreek Hill is like 1.5 feet. So
That's a great point.
But then you're also picking off Patrick Mahomes versus Derek Carr.
True.
So,
True.
Either way,
Alpha
it
male,
was
beta male.
ridiculous
situation.
to see once in a year that catch happen twice in
that was cool.
a game window.
Didn't Byron Jones have a pick too? Mm-hmm. So that's Jeff Heath and Byron Jones.
For some
Half
reason,
of the Cowboys secondary
Yep,
picking off Mahomes this year.
correct. And for some reason, people kept saying, "Oh, Byron Jones is not a big interception guy. Doesn't get a lot of picks." Like he didn't get a lot of picks in Dallas, but he was a supremely talented cornerback. They let him walk, and he has at least 3 interceptions on the year under Brian Flores. So maybe it wasn't Byron Jones.
Well, we had to pay our running back. So, do we want to talk Cowboys at all? It was nice to see that performance. It was nice to see some of the breaks go their way.
Good to see Andy Dalton play well in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I was rooting for him.
That was cool for him.
At this point in the season, you're looking for storylines.
All accounts
if you're a
are good,
fan,
dude.
like reasons to watch. Like, yeah, I'd like to see Andy go out there and ball, and he did. He was good.
Yeah.
Zeke was average. Tony Pollard was above average.
I was just really glad they moved this game to that noon window.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't have – I spent 0 time on this game. It was a 100% red zone Sunday, and it was great.
They barely showed him red zone.
Yeah, which is perfect. I don't want to see this team play. So that was nice.
And part of that was because the Cowboys defense kept scoring, or not scoring, but they kept turning the ball over, and the game was so lopsided early that there weren't really many drives that really led to much. What's incredible to me is to think about the run that the Cowboys could have had quarterback-wise. You had Washington playing with Alex Smith whenever they played, which was not their starter on the year. They got RG3. No, they actually got Lamar Jackson. They could have gotten RG3. They didn't get Joe Burrow. Next week they won't have Jimmy Garoppolo. Then the following week you won't be playing Carson Wentz. And Daniel Jones should be back for the season finale.
And you're still going to go
could be
4-12.
We don't know if they're not going to have Carson Wentz. He's been a little weird about it.
Well-
handling it poorly, some might say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Is there anybody here who's had any like Jalen Hurts takes over the last couple of years that they maybe want to like look back on and just kind of maybe not revisit?
I don't think so. None that comes to mind.
Okay.
Sounds a lot like Micah asking who put truck nuts on his car.
All right, I got a couple of things to say. First of all, he looked all right for a rookie quarterback being thrown into a situation like that. He looked pretty strong to it. He threw he threw a touchdown pass, and of course, they beat the Saints, who is a very good football team.
Good D.
Even without Drew Brees, they're a very, very strong team. Silver lining, though, as a Cowboys fan, I don't mind Hurts playing well enough for them to like maybe start throwing some eggs into the Jalen Hurts basket and kind of committing to him like long term. I don't hate that at all. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to be a great passer of the football.
Do you think he's average?
No, I think he has potential to be a good quarterback. He's not a championship quarterback in the NFL.
Ooh.
And so I don't mind him playing well and like maybe, hey, let's stick with this guy for a while situation. He looked better than Carson Wentz, who seems totally lost, like he forgot how to play football.
I will be happily betting against the Eagles next week, no matter who they're playing, because they totally changed what they did on offense for Hurts. And once they have some film of that, I think he's going to have a much tougher time next week.
Yeah.
They changed. They just ran a bunch of quarterback run situations and things that were 180 degrees different than their offense has been for the entire time. Wentz has been there. So I would think that after a week of that on tape, they're going to be a little bit easier to stop. But we'll see.
He's going to rush for
a
200
good win.
yards against the Cowboys.
Oh, wait, is it the Cowboys next week?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
But if we do play them
Which
again.
week?
I think that's week
15 or
17, isn't it?
I just looked at their schedule. So,
If
yeah,
he's still back there, it's
yes,
just
Carson Wentz.
he's going to have
is out.
Jalen
27th.
just falling over himself. I saw somebody on Twitter. I think it's a listener, Jake. He does the Ravens pod. I think he said he's looking like a diet Russell Wilson out there. And that might be disrespectful to Russ.
And slightly problematic.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
I would say to save the mentions here, saying that a quarterback who threw for 3,800 yards and like 38 touchdowns at OU is not going to be a passing quarterback. Well, I don't know. But I agree, he does not look like an NFL caliber.
I've heard him described by someone who
Yet.
knows the position better than I
Yes.
do as a one-read quarterback.
Fair.
And you can get away with that in an Alabama offense,
Right.
in an OU offense.
When you've got CeeDee Lamb.
when
And
you got guys running wild. But if he has to actually break down, if he diagnose a play
Mm-hmm.
and his first guy's covered up and he has to go to his second and third option, who knows? I mean,
I'm certainly not going to stand here and pick him to be a Russell Wilson. I think that's silly. Russell Wilson's arguably the most efficient passer in the NFL, short of like Drew Brees, maybe. It's ridiculous to even go that route. But I'm interested to see what Jalen Hurts as a starter or Jalen Hurts with time can turn into. He's definitely not somebody who should have been starting his rookie year. But
Right.
hey, if they can win a game with him, so be it.
How big is he?
6'2"-ish,
Yeah, I would say 6'2", 220, but I will I'll verify that.
something like that.
I do remember the weight room videos of him from college, like squatting ungodly amount
Yeah,
of weight.
he's weirdly very strong for his size.
Thick boy.
Yeah.
Listed at
Interesting.
6'1", 223, so it wasn't far off.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say he seems like he might be a guy that takes a lot of contact, but
Yeah, I'm not pulling against the guy. I am pulling against the Eagles, though.
For sure.
Correct. I want chaos. I want
Yeah.
them to have $30 or $35 million on their bench invested into a quarterback
Yes,
who
that's
hasn't-
fun. It's
who
fun
they
for
can't do
everybody.
anything with.
Is 200 yards a lot to give up to a running back in a game?
I feel like that might be like the average for the Cowboy D, but yeah, I think it is a lot.
It's the average for like the Jaguars against Derrick Henry, I feel like. Because in the last 2 out of 3, maybe 4 games, they've given up 200 yards to him in a single game. Nobody cares about the Jags, but the Titans, after giving up the game, a big first half to the Browns, they turn around and they act like they should. Tampa also won. I'm
Shout
still
out Dan
not.
Bailey.
Jeez,
He's
Dude, I hate that. I hate that for him.
I hate it for the Vikings. Like
Well,
the
yeah.
Vikings have such kicking nightmares. It's just terrible.
what happened to Gostkowski earlier in the season, and then Dan Bailey, some kickers with some real careers under their belts have just really struggled this season. It's been a weird one.
It is very strange. And to think like Young Wei Koo is like one of the most consistent kickers this year after being the guy with the yips his rookie year. Did y'all watch the Philly? Or I guess we just talked Philly, New Orleans, the Buffalo game. I mean,
Yes.
late night.
Yeah.
I guess you watch it. You definitely had to watch it. Wasn't that a determining factor?
No, I was wrapped up by
Okay.
the afternoon games.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's real nice because my first round playoff matchup had to watch the Sunday night game where Stephon Diggs ripped me apart and Brad Key was victorious. Another shouts to Brad on this
Wow,
episode.
Brad's getting a lot of love.
Yeah,
Stephon Diggs is
I'm mad.
legit.
Dude, the Bills are sick, man.
They're good.
There's a lot of Josh Allen haters out there, but that's what was that, Randy?
Show their face.
You blowing bubbles with your gum? Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Anytime I get to ride for Western New York and see aerial shots of Niagara Falls, I get super H nostalgia.
What about snow on a Sunday night?
Love
Sunday night.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
We're so dumb.
Oh man,
Did you like the color rush?
I did.
dude, the Bills are fucking good, man.
I didn't hate that all red look.
No, I liked it too. The Bills are good. They are.
I've talked about the AFC playoffs all year. I am as H as one can be for the playoffs this year, for everything except for CBS's daytime production of their playoff games. Other than that, I'm all in.
Is there a chance we could see a Chiefs Bills AFC Championship? I don't know how it lines up over there.
It's going to depend on seeding. So you'll have 1 through 1 will get a bye, 2, 3, and 4 will host games, and I guess 4 would play. So you have 5, 6, 7. 4 would play 5, so 5 wouldn't be a division winner. It would have to be a second round game, either way you cut it.
Dylan, will you commit to getting the Sunday Night Football logo tattoo if we get an AFC Championship at Arrowhead with snow between the Bills and the Chiefs?
If the Cowboys win the Super Bowl this year, yes, I will do that.
Okay. The
That's a
Sunday Night
promise.
Football
I promise
logo.
you. I promise you.
Okay.
I don't care. I promise.
Do you want the Sunday Night Football logo or just like a picture of Carrie Underwood singing the theme?
I figured you
now
already
we're
had
talking.
that.
Now we're talking.
Do you not already have Carrie on you?
Not yet.
Not 2020 Carrie like with leggings under her like cocktail dress.
Ooh, the legs on her. Sorry, I don't mean to get too aged.
This is getting super
He
horny.
just has fantastic legs.
I mean, I will say this. I watched the Sunday night football intro last night for the first time. Like, I was paying attention to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there it is. Sunday night. And I'm with KJ, and I'm
doesn't make
obviously with
sense.
Dylan. Why is she covering the stems up? Why would she do that?
My issue is less that she's covered up. It's more that she legitimately is wearing like a cocktail hour dress and then has like leather pants on underneath it.
Yeah, it's a bad fashion choice.
You want some
it's a
skin.
bad fit.
You want some skin.
No, just wear a leather
Just wear the
jacket.
leather pants
or just
or wear the
leather
dress.
pants.
Don't do both. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to get blowback for this, but I mean,
I at least said she should wear a top too, but
that
each
too.
their own.
That would be nice.
I'm
Sunday night.
I'll say it. I think she's fine with whatever she wears.
That's true. That's true. She just shouldn't call herself a doctor.
You're such a gentleman. You used to run one of those gent accounts on Twitter back in the day.
Frat on, good sir.
You truly are a rowdy gentleman, David.
Oh,
Okay.
Last thing on
I'm gonna put truck nuts on your
games
car.
yesterday. As happy as you are about the future of the Eagles if they invest in Jalen Hurts, how do you feel about the future of Chase Young? Wait, is it not Chase Young? Why does this sound like the wrong name?
The defensive end?
Yes.
About the team from
Yeah.
Washington.
For some reason, I like my brain wants to say Rice over and over and over. I keep saying Chase. I hear Rice.
I feel much better about the projection of Chase Young's career than Chase Rice's career.
Buying stock in Chase Young.
Amen,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, he's a monster.
He's already like a top 5 defensive player in the league.
Defensive, yeah.
defensive player or defensive end?
Player.
Whoa.
Dude, he wreaks havoc.
I wouldn't give him that much credit yet, but he's definitely
I'm just saying
headed
shit.
that way. Yeah.
Sometimes I just like to say shit.
He's
see what
very
people
good.
do.
He had a touchdown yesterday.
It was incredible to see too, because he's a massive human being, and I was kind of hoping for somebody to get close enough to get stiff armed, because he looks bigger than Derrick Henry looks when he runs,
Yeah.
and he is measurably bigger than Derrick Henry. But to look as big as Derrick Henry looks against DBs, but Chase Young's doing it while like linemen are chasing him down, and he still looked like a monster. Like that dude's scary.
I
Very
love the
scary.
video of Mike Tomlin last week where he was mic'd up talking to Chase Young. Not Chase Rice, but Chase Young, and just said, I never want to lose enough games where I can have a guy like you on my team.
Yeah.
And he was like,
that's a good thing
do you
to
understand what I'm saying? Because you're a bad boy. It was just really, really cool.
I'm
boy shit.
looking forward to like the next 5 years of the Cowboys and their mediocre aging offensive line, getting that twice a season. It's really going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, with a franchise quarterback coming off of a potentially career-changing injury, you're not going to be nervous every time that dude lines up over your left tackle. Oh, yeah, it's going to be nerve-wracking.
Damn.
You know what you could do if you're dealing with some bad nerves?
Oh, this is about
Are you
Headspace.
segueing into the Headspace app? Dude.
Y'all tried this app out yet? It's incredible.
These are stressful times.
I started using this app before it was even a sponsor. That's how you know it's legit.
I think you told me about it.
I think I did.
And now look at this.
Big fan.
And they must have heard you because they're sponsoring the pod. They know life can be stressful even under normal circumstances. 2020 has challenged even the most difficult times of life. You need stress relief that goes beyond quick fixes. That's Headspace, Dylan.
Yeah, you know what? I'm using it today. I promise you that.
It's your daily dose of mindfulness in the form of guided meditations in an easy-to-use app.
For someone like me and for other novices out there who have never meditated before and don't know how to do it, it walks you through the entire thing, and it is awesome.
Whatever the situation, it really can help you feel better, overwhelmed. You got too much dip on your chip. Headspace has 3 minutes SOS meditation for you.
Shut your brain off, man.
It just
All the stressors and anxiety you deal with, all the time, every day. You can't.
Brett's not here, is he?
You can't shut your brain off.
No,
This
no.
helps you shut your brain off. Forget about that shit.
You know what this helps you do? Shut it down. Shouts to John Taffer.
Shut it down.
Big fan of Headspace.
And so when you're finished, it's like a whole new perspective. It's awesome.
If you're like me and you have trouble taking naps in the middle of the day, like
Not a nap boy.
I've never been a good nap guy. Headspace, you're not falling asleep, but you're getting like that. You're resting your mind, and that's huge. That's all I want, a little peace of mind. Doing these podcasts, you know how these podcasts be. You did like 8 in a day last week. You remember that?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's backed by 25 published studies, On its benefits, 600,000 five-star reviews, and over 60 million downloads. That speaks for itself. Makes it easy for you to build life-changing meditation practice with mindfulness that works for you on your schedule, anytime, anywhere. You deserve to feel happier, and Headspace is meditation made simple. Go to headspace.com/bang, headspace.com/bang for a free 1-month trial with access to their full library of meditations for every situation. Headspace.com/bang. Thank you, Headspace. College football. Let's talk about it. Where do you want to start? Anybody want to talk Georgia? I'm looking right at you, Micah.
What was the final on that?
It was a lot to few.
We both took Mizzou for the record.
Yeah, I wanted to take Georgia. I think I said that on the Thursday live stream, but I
believe I picked Georgia.
couldn't do that. You should have. It was the right side. Georgia got up 14-0. Missouri bounced back to make it 14-14.
That's when I turned it off.
And you were like, bad things were going to happen
No,
after
I
that?
had
He
to
likes
do-
to turn things off
I
and
had-
get exciting.
I had to go to brunch, and when I checked it, that's when I texted. I was like, "Oh, this got away from him," because it was like a 30-point game.
Yeah, I think it was 35 unanswered points from that point forward.
That's many unanswered points. Takeaways from that?
Georgia's good. Georgia's very talented, as we've known all season. They finally have their 5-star quarterback who's playing, who was hurt for most of the year when they were playing a walk-on. They killed us, and so shouts to them. Missouri, like every losing football coach, Missouri's coach, Elijah, as I like to call him, dropped, we're just doing the best we can with 54 scholarship players, and which is the same thing the Vandy coach said after the game. I was watching the SEC wrap-up show, and like every losing coach, like within your first sentence, you have to talk about how few scholarship players you have. But Georgia's really good, and they were impressive, so shouts to them. The 5 days where Missouri was ranked in the top 25 were really, really good. But, we're not moving to college hoops here, but big shouts to Mizzou, who beat Illinois and is up to number 16 in the polls this week. So
that's
huge
exciting.
for us. Yeah.
My big miss of the weekend was the U. Got just absolutely steamrolled by Mac Brown.
Impressive win for North Carolina.
Man, just like a little bit extra salt in the wound that is Texas football right now is that Mac Brown is just doing the thing up
Just
there.
rolling.
Just
Didn't Mac Brown fire Manny Diaz, too?
After a game against BYU.
You know how bad Manny Diaz was in his time at Texas?
It was not a
Some
great run.
historically terrible defenses.
With
Did he give up-
historically high-rated draft or recruitment classes?
Yes,
It's true.
It was like what have you ever coached football before? It was really bad.
I'm going to botch this stat,
But you remember he wore cleats.
Yeah.
Manny Diaz was let go after the BYU game, Texas BYU, where BYU,
Is
I
that the
think, put
Taysom
up-
Hill game? It was the Taysom
Yes.
Hill
It was
game.
because
Yeah.
they put up like 500 like
Points.
94 yards on the ground or something absurd.
He was like, it was like we had a high school defense out there trying to stop these D1 athletes. It was just really weird and bad, and he
then
was terrible.
I can't verify this, but somebody on Twitter noted that Mac Brown put up roughly the same number against.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I say Mac
That's
Brown.
funny.
I'm giving him all the cred, but he's done wonders with that
Shouts.
program.
Yeah.
Shouts to Mac Brown. Happy
It's
for him.
a great win for North Carolina. It's also another just typical loss for Miami. Every time you think they're going to get over that hump
Yeah.
and the U is back, they just lay an egg at home. They do it every year
Yeah.
when they get you a little H. But big shouts to Mac. That North Carolina looks like it's going to be a player in the ACC, especially with the recruiting they have going, the whole thing.
Should have moved the kick back to nighttime. Told you.
I was the one who was gassing up the sneaky good offense in Miami, and they were sneaky bad.
Yeah, Rhett Lashley let you down there.
Hurts to miss that one. Coastal. This one was a game.
Yeah.
In fact, they were down with like a minute left. Drove right down the field in like 60 seconds, less than that actually. And they are now 11-0 after beating Troy.
Who wants to explain to me, since I missed it, the shoe throw in the Florida LSU game?
Before we dive in there, I do want to mention, I don't know if we had it on the rundown, the USC-UCLA game. USC 5-0. Think they've got a Pac-12 title game or something else coming up, but, undefeated. And Chip Kelly's UCLA team actually is finally looking like that chain is catching there with how bad their, off-season headlines were about the team not trusting them to do proper COVID testing. Something's beginning to work out there. They've got a decent quarterback, so... we don't talk much Pac-12 football, and likely for good reason, But, since 5-0 teams are arguing for position in the college football playoff, USC should be mentioned.
That conference is getting no respect.
None at all. None at all. All right. Florida LSU. How much, I guess, of the game did any of y'all see live?
I watched the first half, and I was doing like a mix of MMA and with Florida LSU on the TV after that. So I did see the shoe throw, but I didn't realize how big of a determining factor it played.
Same.
I missed it. Somebody has to tell me what happened.
He threw a shoe.
Who?
Okay, so this game was at Florida.
Correct.
The game was tied. LSU throws, I think it's like a third down incompletion, and the defensive back who breaks it up for Florida, picks up one of the LSU guys' shoes and just throws it in the air like 20 yards down the field.
Flag?
Gets flagged 15 yards. Florida then goes in, and you can see there's the throw.
3rd and 10, clearly short of the first. Everything is wrong with this picture.
2 minutes left. Yeah, this is.
Oh, the guy standing over him?
Yeah, you don't want that. That could get you a penalty in and of itself.
Especially in college.
But there's just nothing. You're on their sideline, so their players are going to scream it for the ref to see it if he didn't see it himself. You just don't need it. And then the other guy going to taunt the sideline, there's 3 or 4 different penalties in this play. So, I get it. It was a heated game. It was way closer than it needed to be. But Wilson obviously is going to get all the flack, but jeez, man.
Yeah.
Considering they're on the 30, it looks like a field goal was kind of in play still.
No, they were going the other
they were
way.
on 30.
Oh,
so
yeah,
this penalty
it's
was
much
So
worse.
Florida,
The other
with
way.
their Heisman Trophy caliber quarterbacks, about to get the ball back, go down the field. Instead, it keeps the drive alive, and LSU
I
doesn't.
follow now. Okay.
I read something that Wilson went to the same high school as the guy from Ole Miss who did the leg lift piss thing last year against Mississippi State. That got both coaches fired. And
It's like he
Literally
really-
cost them the game.
It's like he really heaved that thing, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like a casual toss.
he put his back into it.
Go ahead.
One of my favorite things in hockey is when somebody loses a stick and then you can't move this, use your stick and throw theirs away. That just reminded me of this. It's one of the most absurd things I've ever seen. I feel bad for this kid.
My favorite thing about this is that someone tagged the journalist, the Iraqi journalist, I believe, who threw a shoe at George W. Bush 12 years ago, or however long ago that was. And the guy was like, wow, nice throw. It led to a discourse. It was really a tremendous situation.
If you ever mention someone throwing a shoe at George Bush, he will at you. He keeps his alerts on fire. That's one of the great things about
That video is next level
Twitter.
hilarious.
It's great. George's recovery was incredible. But one thing that we should also mention because of this shot here, you will notice that we kind of have that spider cam view of the play. The fog was just ridiculous in Gainesville during this game. Absolutely absurd. Now, it was a little hard to tell, was their stadium at 100% capacity or 110% capacity? But
A lot of people.
it was insane. The vibe was unmatched. So for this to even be a close game, I kind of come around on Florida this year. Obviously we had the kiss fight discussions. I feel like we were a little tough on Dan Mullen after some of his dumb comments before he got COVID. But their team has been fun to watch. So I was kind of hoping they'd pull this out and have an argument to get into the playoff. But it just...
He's still lobbying. I mean, he's lobbying.
After the game, he was still saying 2 losses, I should be in.
Yeah, I mean,
he's throwing shots at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I get it. You always want to lobby for your team, but you got to win your games if you want to, you got to win your games.
It's a bad look to bring that up immediately after
a loss.
If he wants to make that comment during the week,
I don't think he says it on the podium if they win the game. I just don't think he stands there and goes, Ohio State only has 5 games.
Right.
They're changing the rules for them. Maybe he does, and there's maybe a way to do it tactfully. But Dan Mullen, he always seems just 5% off on these things. He just doesn't say exactly the right thing. He needs to go to Mac Brown finishing school.
He has a Tom Herman quality about him.
Yes. They're just the heart's in the right place,
Exactly.
and they know that they're supposed to say something they don't believe in. They know they can't give the full truth the way they see it, and they know that they got to turn it around to make it a little bit better, but nobody can do what Mac Brown does.
I'll give you a little breaking news. Mac Brown, Sally. A little breaking news here out of the Pac-12. USC was slated to play Washington in the Pac-12 title game. Washington cannot field 53 scholarship student athletes due to the number of COVID cases and the spiking number of cases in the area. Pac-12 has replaced Washington with Oregon for that game.
Okay.
So, a little bit of a pivot. I mean, either way, I think USC is going to be favored. Oregon was definitely favored in that conference league coming into the season, so it makes it a little more interesting. Washington's got a first-year head coach there who's done pretty well, aside from things out of his own control. So, just something to keep an eye on. I would imagine that we're not far off from seeing bowl games suffer the same fate too.
God, hopefully not the Frisco Bowl.
Hopefully not the Frisco Tropical Smoothie Frisco Bowl.
Are you going to go? No. UTSA versus the Ponies.
I don't think I will be
that's
attending.
lit.
It's the Roadrunners versus the Ponies, the battle we've all been waiting for.
Wow.
The biggest
That's the real I-35 showdown.
The biggest attraction is to go up there to hang out with Klein. So
I might be in.
yeah, that's a selling.
See you at the Star, fam.
The Big 12, someone reported yesterday, like,
I'm glad you mentioned
in the
this.
event Iowa State or OU has to drop out because of COVID issues, you know who's next in line?
Texas. It's not.
And what if they win?
I don't know. I mean,
Hang the banner.
no, you can't
We're
count that.
back.
Texas
can't
A&M
count
would call
that.
this a national title.
Like as a school, like you kind of have to. You have to,
Right.
like, claim it, but you don't really want to claim it. It's what a farce this whole season is, man. I don't know. As a Texas fan, I'm completely apathetic at this point. I just don't care. Texas stinks, and they will for a while. And it's, I don't know. I don't want to play OU again.
Why?
Because Texas won't win that game.
It's hard to beat the same team twice.
You're right. It
Yes,
is.
Kyler.
That's just a thing people say. I don't even
It's
know if the
very
numbers
true.
back it
It
up.
is.
Very
It
true.
probably is.
At least NFL division stats back that up. The number of or I guess we want to talk about in the conference championship games. So we do have Florida, Alabama, right? That's a lock.
There are a host of other SEC games this weekend, though,
So
on
weird.
championship weekend. The schedule has just said, like, if you're not going to play, you can have another game. So there are other SEC games outside of the championship game.
Dumb.
I don't like that at all.
Like, I get why they're doing it, but it's not affecting the college football playoff. It probably wouldn't affect any of those teams' bowl bids. So, lock it up and, look
Shut
for a
it
bowl
down.
game.
Let's go home.
Yeah, just come back for bowl. So you have what? Ohio State, Northwestern, which I've already said, catch me rooting my ass off for Northwestern just to make all this adjustment and tomfoolery a
It
sham.
would be hilarious.
We're
But
big on the
we'll see.
Wildcats here.
Big Wildcat. Obviously, like what you said, USC, Oregon, the SEC title game, and then Big 12 TBD. Should anything
How many
happen.
more games are there in the Pac-12?
None.
Are they on their title game now?
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah, they had a shorter season than the Big Ten, I think, by one game. But we also have coaching carousel firings to discuss.
Gus Malzahn out.
Did anybody anticipate this at all?
No.
He was 65 and 18 or something, or I don't have the record in front of me. But he had a 700% percentage winning record.
Yeah, I guess it's championship or bust for Auburn fans now.
Oh, okay. We won one with Cam, and all of a sudden, we've got UT mentality.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's very similar. I've got some friends, some Auburn friends, and they are kind of cut from that cloth. Something important to note is one Art Briles has resigned from Mount Vernon High School, and there's a lot of speculation right now.
About the person filling the Auburn job, maybe opening it up for Art.
Yeah, and I think it's very unlikely that it happens, but him landing a coordinator gig somewhere, maybe at Texas Tech in Lubbock. He is a
Working
West
his way
Texas
back
guy.
in.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was also announced today. Texas Tech will be keeping Matt Wells, their head coach. But they did fire David Yost, their offense coordinator. So that seat's open. I would anticipate Hugh Freeze to Auburn being something that happens. Unless there's some Alabama coordinator like a Steve Sarkisian like comes in and takes a job. I see that happening. Or maybe Sarkisian takes the Arizona job, which Kevin Sumlin just gave up.
Dude, Kevin Sumlin, man.
That's a fall.
That is quite the fall.
They got whipped 70-7
Oh, my God.
against Arizona State.
Is
And
Herm still coaching Arizona
Yeah.
State?
Yes.
Hell yeah,
And
Herm.
quite well.
the Herm firm is taking over the state
I want to see him and Mac Brown, their teams play at every opportunity.
every game.
Just because it'll be just well coached.
We got to find a way for those teams to play in a bowl game. Yeah, tough break for Kevin Sumlin. When you lose 70-7 to your in-conference rival or in-state rival, you're probably going to get canned.
It was 42-0 at half. And Arizona did not punt one time, and they were down 42 points in the first half.
How's that happen? How's that work?
63-0 after the third. Arizona State obviously let off the gas in the fourth quarter. So it could have been worse.
Sumlin's last couple of years at A&M were weird, too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember before, I don't know if it was the Cotton Bowl. I don't remember what game it was. There was, like, video of him, like, in a hotel, like, extraordinarily drunk. And this is, like, on the heels of the Manziel stuff. It was just weird. It felt like it ended oddly.
Mike Evans made him a lot of money too. I want to see Sumlin go back and be a coordinator somewhere in the Big 12 or in Texas, period. I think he can come back and be successful somewhere in Texas and build his way up from there again. He couldn't recruit in Arizona. Like right out of the gate, things were bad and they never got better. I don't know how good of a job that is. Obviously, the Pac-12 is in a tough spot, but just saying, it's not pretty. Also, Lovie Smith out at Illinois. I mean, there's not a person who's worked with Lovie Smith, aside from maybe the idiot owners of the Buccaneers, who've ever said anything bad about him after working with him. He had like a 300% winning record at Illinois, and the AD came out and was like, unquestionable integrity, amazing human being, great guy. We just didn't have the success we needed to win here at Illinois. And I'm like, since when have you ever?
High standards. Anything else?
That's it.
Don't forget that one year they had Ron Zook and went to the Rose Bowl.
I think
The Zucker.
was Pierre Thomas running back then.
I forget.
Might be.
You want to do some quick tips? These are more than quick tips.
I agree.
This is, I mean, we could have led the show with this, but this is big. The Cleveland Indians are dropping the name Indians for the first time in 105 years. Have they announced what their plan is? Are they going to go team from Washington football team?
That's what's being reported. They have made no official announcement. I think they said it would probably come this week, but the speculation is that they will go just Cleveland baseball team for a year and then perhaps come up with a community idea for a nickname.
I don't know if the MLB has the same thing that NFL does, but it's the stupid rule that kept Washington as the Washington football team. It's like there's like a year-long approval process that takes place for the NFL for you to even switch your name that they would have had to go through. So Washington couldn't have come up with a name immediately.
And
But what makes no sense is they've locked it in for 2 years.
Yes. I will just we do have an actual news release from Cleveland today from the Indians. So this is now official.
Steaming all right off the press. Mm-hmm. That's terrible.
Our president is not thrilled with
Was
this.
that a Cleveland Steamers joke?
It was a really bad joke.
With this news.
Is there
Hold on. Did you hear that? What he did?
I thought it was a joke. It is, right?
Yeah, but it was so well done and
It's
just
a bad joke.
it wasn't bad. It was good.
Dylan is one of the only owners of Cleveland, formerly known as the Indians, gear in this room.
Oh,
Do
that's a
you feel
good
offended
point.
at all?
The first baseball cap I ever owned as a kid was a Cleveland Indians one. So I thought it was a cool ass logo.
Was it the super problematic one?
Yes.
Chief Wahoo?
So they got rid of that a few years back. Right?
Yes.
They've been
the big
phasing that out.
Which that was like, all right, that's got to go. You can't do that.
I don't think anybody was going to argue with
No,
standing
I
in
think
the way of
even the
Chief
most
Wahoo.
diehard Indian fans are like, yeah, it's bad. Okay.
Yeah. It's time. It's just time.
It's been 105 years with the name. You know, there's something to be said for that. I mentioned this last night. The teams changed names in the past, like way more regularity than they do this year. So, you know, whatever the reasoning may be, it's not going to change anything in anyone's day that they're now known as Cleveland something else. Like, move on.
Well, there's one person who isn't moving on, as Dylan pointed out. It's the 45th president of the United States. who 16 hours ago
Orange Man.
tweeted, "Oh no, what is going on? This is not good news, even for, quote, Indians. Cancel culture at work."
Okay.
What?
It's a little red meat.
Why? Why would he have to comment on this? And you're just adding to the problem.
Who
I'll
is
just
the
say
person
this.
being canceled in this?
Yeah, I don't
scenario?
know. I do
this
love
works.
I love the move of just dropping the name and just calling yourself the Cleveland baseball team or whatever they're going to do, just like Washington did. Do that for 2 years, sell all the football team merch you can, and then switch to something else. Sell all that merch. Like it makes more sense that way.
Spiders is the leader in the clubhouse. Apparently, that was a former name of another baseball team in Cleveland back in the day. I don't know if it's a Negro League team or just or the original name of the Cleveland Indians. So TBD there.
Is the name Indians bad itself, or is it because it's paired with the logo of like the Redskin face and all that?
Yeah, the Wahoo part
just
was
saying, like-
definitely the first thing that had to go. And then
Yeah.
Indians, I would say that's on the line because like then you have Chiefs and Braves, which of the four options here, Redskins, the furthest down the road of you've
Yeah,
got to
Redskins
change
is
that.
the worst, of course.
And then you've got the Chief Wahoo logo, which they parted ways with. Indians, they probably could have kept. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone was,
it's not so bad. I mean, it's not. Yeah, you're in a way you're kind of
Protesting
celebrating the
this.
people by naming them your mascot, but
then like the, running people out in full headdresses, allowing people in
Yeah.
with face paint in Atlanta.
Tomahawk
and
chop.
Tomahawk
have-
shot in Atlanta and Kansas City. Like those things. They've already said they were cutting that out, but there are no fans to like enforce it on this year.
That was my
does
next
Florida
question.
State still do the in the middle of the field,
Think
the spear?
so, but that's Florida.
But okay, there is a connection there though, right? With the Seminole tribe.
With
like,
the Seminole tribe,
there's something. Yeah.
the university does have some sort of partnership with them.
Correct.
It's not a complete appropriation, I think, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not a connoisseur of
Is
Florida
that
State.
an authentic Native American on that horse before the game?
I don't know. I don't know. Check the rolls.
I don't know. You would imagine that like maybe Oklahoma would have a couple more sporting teams that utilize Native American or indigenous people
Yeah.
logos, but you don't see as much of it as you would think.
No, in fact, they have one of the most insanely named teams, the Golden Hurricanes.
Like they reached over them to pick something else.
I mean, they were like, no, we're going to do something that has legitimately never affected our state in any manner.
we're the haboobs.
What is a golden hurricane as opposed to a regular hurricane?
You know what it is.
Is it like I'm not.
I think
I'm
it's
not
a
gonna say
dust storm. It's not an R. Kelly joke. I think it's a dust storm, but they also have like a huge statue of the oil guy and oilman. I don't know, in Tulsa.
Daniel
That's like
Plainview?
I'm into it, man.
oil man.
Wait, is it really a dust storm?
I think so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I could be wrong. They are Tornado Alley.
It is Tornado Alley. I'm just. Okay.
Anyhow, let's get to things we do know about since people aren't hearing this shit.
Texas School for the Deaf, folks. How about that?
Micah was really excited about this news. Before.
They have won their first state title in six-man football. That is Austin's own Texas School for the Deaf. I think it's South First. Is that where it is?
South Congress, South First, in
You
between.
drive by it all the time. You always look.
A
they've
very
got
desirable plot of land for
Very.
developers. Yeah.
Have y'all read
it's
the,
sort of the golden. It's the most valuable, most desired real estate asset in the city of Austin, outside of Camp Mabry. I think those two are.
I think
The
it was
White Sands.
formerly a insane asylum or something of the sort. It was definitely a home for
It
the
has-
disturbed.
It has
prior.
prison vibes. I hate to say that, but it just looks like it used to be a prison.
I've attended a ballet recital there for my sister-in-law. Anyone else ever been on campus there? Any other relations?
No, but if I knew they were housing Disturbed, I would have gone.
I believe it's also the site for the
Get
for
stupefied.
ALC, which is like out of school suspension if you get in trouble.
Oh,
It's a
that.
the bad boys hanging
alternative
out there.
learning center. Yeah.
Smoking in the boys' room. That's what bad boys do.
Yeah. Shouts to
They would
Poison.
know.
I don't think I've told anyone on this podcast before. Two of my three first girlfriends were deaf, so this is a big move for me. I'm excited for this school. A lot of people know that.
You serious?
100%. Alex and Lindsay, great people.
Shouts to them.
Huh.
Interesting.
There's like a small percentage chance Alex is listening to this.
Do you know sign language?
I used to know very little, but I was a major
What are you looking at me like that?
Nothing. I'll tell you after the podcast.
Were you going to say how? Because we're going to go back to being offended for the Native Americans out there.
No. No, I was not going to say that.
No, I think it's interesting. It's cool.
No. It's not nothing you said.
It's interesting because he dated 2 of them.
No. It's not something you just said. It's something you said a while back that is making me laugh in my head. We'll talk about after. So I messed that up. I apologize.
But yes, so that's all factual. TTY was a big player. I also had to talk to one of their sisters and have her communicate with her. That was a lot. Anyhow,
I have been on that football field before. We used to play Texas School for the Deaf in football before they went. Now they're a 6-man program apparently. They have a big bass drum, like Big Bertha or whatever, and that's how they do their snap count. They have a guy on the sideline who hits it, and so the players can feel the vibration.
Interesting.
Yeah.
anything
I
else?
had no idea.
We played there several times. They had some very strong players, and I think we'll just leave it at that.
How did you fare?
I did have one very memorable moment. I still remember. I don't remember much about playing football in high school, but I do remember once on a punt, I blocked 2 dudes at the same time and decleated them both.
Nice.
It was truly
Nice.
lit. Yeah.
Same damn time. I heard you got pancaked. Is that true?
That would be untrue. That would be untrue.
What did you play? What position?
I played
O-line?
mostly offensive line.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly interior.
With legs like that, you got to put him on the line.
Did you ever pull?
I was known to pull as the guard.
Okay.
Oh, good for you.
I'm known for pulling out, leading the way.
Oh,
All right.
hey.
KJ, I see
that not what you were
RIP
asking?
on here.
Oh, yes.
We about to eulogize the late, the great Charlie Pride.
Exactly. I meant to lead in with this, but we went with paper towel talk, so I apologize there.
That's my fault.
But
Much less important.
Charlie Pride, as we've noted, Billy Joe Shaver and several other country music past deaths. in the
2020,
recent months.
man.
I know. But the tie-in here, not only is Charlie Pride, great musician, great country music Hall of Famer, is also partial owner of the Texas Rangers for a short bit. Charlie Pride lived in Arlington for quite some time. I actually met Charlie Pride by accident. There was an essay contest that I did not win, but he was on campus to take pictures with the winner, and I just kind of stood around the whole time. I was like, hey, I've seen this guy's name around.
That's
It
dope.
seems like a big deal. But yeah, it sucks to have any of these deaths occur. It also sucks when it's like somebody that you kind of looked up to as a kid.
He was he's somebody people would see around town in Dallas Fort Worth for a
100%.
while. He was at many Rangers games, even when he wasn't an owner.
He played minor league baseball. Actually, played Negro League baseball
Negro
as
League
well. Lived in Montana and played up there. And I did an episode on our Texas about Charlie Pride, so I'd done a little bit of digging in recent years. But all around, by all accounts, good dude. Country Music Hall of Famer. One of the first, I think maybe the first black member of the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Just a real good dude. So R.I.P.
Damn.
Was on the Memphis Red Sox in the Negro Leagues, which
Shout out to Memphis. You know what? I'm coming around on Memphis. I need to rehab my image with Memphis after I realized we had
you've
the
got
backers that were from Cincinnati and Memphis. I've got to clean up my reputation with those two cities.
Is that
So-
the next tour stop for the Wash Media Empire once the Rona goes down? Just go take on Memphis.
take on Stumptown?
We've got some heavy hitters in line to be hit for Amina. We'll put Memphis on the list, though.
like we
Central Barbecue? What's up?
Rendezvous fun.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna end up just going back to Dallas.
Bottled blonde,
The
bitch.
Dallas one was so fun, and so good.
We're running Chicago back, too.
Chicago's happening. Houston's happening. Maybe we'll do Lubbock. We're not doing Lubbock.
Nashville, New York. Randy off mic for some reason said Atlanta.
Atlanta,
what do you have
Atlanta
going
will
on?
happen
Atlanta happens.
for sure. That's like a top 3 market.
Hey, Micah, you want to run it back?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's run it back.
This is time for Run It Back, the segment where we talk about what we've already talked about. Hey, Micah was out here acting like a unfrozen caveman lawyer. Dylan didn't finish last in his fantasy league, and there will be no Dilly-thon. Dylan also admitted to placing truck nuts on Micah's car several years ago. Quote, those were some good nuts.
To be clear, I am not sorry for that.
I'm not asking for an apology, but I'll continue. Brian Flores and Mike McCarthy are obviously the best coaching hires since McVay. According to Dylan's football sources, Jalen Hurts is a one-read quarterback. Dave gets H for shots of Western New York.
True.
Carrie Underwood has great stems. I think we can all agree on that. Chase Young, greater than Chase Rice.
Facts.
The idea of Chase Young facing the Cowboys twice a year is enough for the whole squad to sign up for Headspace. You can go to headspace.com/bang for a free 1-month trial. Dave likes to turn things off when they get exciting.
It's an emotional issue I have. I'm seeing therapy.
Never forget that Manny Diaz wore cleats.
It was terrible in Austin.
Florida's Wilson put his back into that shoe throw. I don't know why I said he put his back into it, but it made me laugh. Too much dip is H for the Frisco Bowl between the Roadrunners and Ponies. They have a huge statue of an oil man in Oklahoma, or so we were told, and 2 of KJ's first 3 girlfriends were deaf.
Thanks for including that. Oh, man, fun episode.
Dude, you really ran it back on him. Can I just say I didn't know about the Manny Diaz cleat anecdote? What's the story there?
Well, when Texas, for example, brings in a high-profile coordinator, either offense or defense, during the preseason, there's the stories, you could write them ahead of time, basically, that, he's a young guy and he's bringing enthusiasm to the program, and they practice at a tempo they've never done before, and just the intensity is much higher than it ever was before.
He just ran around in practice like a wild
And
man.
then his story was that he wore cleats while he was coaching. And that was like the one little thing. Like every story about Manny Diaz coming to Austin was that he coaches in cleats.
Does he get in there and do the Oklahoma drill with the kids?
It's hard to say.
Okay.
Shouts to Manny, though.
When you search it,
he got that bag.
wild guess is what website is the first discussion board that's asking about it. Texags.
Oh.
Manny Diaz wears cleats on the effing field, August 2012.
Yeah, that would piss me off too.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, man, good episode. Hey, we'll see you guys Thursday night for the live stream. We do that. If you want to go back and watch something that somebody does or told me about, Mondays, they go back and watch the previous Thursdays, just to see our picks and see how they all played out and hear all the dumb shit that we said. That might be kind of a fun thing for people to do. So go to Washed Media on YouTube. I think that's youtube.com/washedmedia is a better way to say it.
Yep.
We'll see you Thursday. Bye-bye.
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.